la la la. Hello, everyone. Author Tillery here, the Mistress of Horror, and welcome to my live stream. I am live streaming because my Kickstarter will be ending in about 2 hours, roughly. It's almost 4 o'clock now. Figured I'd pop in a few minutes before 4, and it'll count down on its own. If you actually go to the Kickstarter right now, it says something like 106 minutes or something like that left. Because I think when I launched it was about 6 o'clock my time, Eastern Standard Time. And yeah, so if you're new here, you're catching this live stream for the first time, you've never been to my channel, make sure you press that subscribe button and like this video so other people can find it as well. And if you don't know about me, I write horror, dark fantasy, and I dibble and dabble in all other genres as well. Hence my brand being the Mistress of Horror. I mean, I'm married to all the other genres, but I'm the Mistress of Horror. I'm solo in it today because it is Mother's Day as well, and there are probably people doing things. I'm a mother myself, but we're mothers every day. So I enjoyed my day. I actually got new K-pop for Mother's Day because I do love K-pop. I know a lot of people are trending and being into K-pop, but I've been into J-pop before I was into K-pop when I was a child. So I grew up with Asian music and Asian cinema then as well. I'm more heavily into Asian cinema now than I was when I even was a child. As a child and teenager, I grew up actually with anime, and I was into manga heavy. I still like manga and anime, but I definitely watch more Korean dramas now and Korean film than I did when I was younger. There was a slight mixture in there, but it was more Japan in that case. So it's not anything new for me. New for a lot of people, but not new for me. I'm 40, so not new for me. And I doubt I'll ever stop because it's something that I enjoy. I like the style of film. I much prefer the men. Yeah. So, and that being the case, there's no shock there if you know me at all. Anyway, I was very happy with my gifts for Mother's Day. It was actually two albums that I had missed by one of my favorite Korean singers, K from the group Shin. And he started doing some solo work years ago, and he has four. I'm gonna say, is it 4 mini albums? I believe. No, he might. I think he has three. And I didn't have two of his albums. I had his middle one, though I had some of his singles, and I finally was able to get to his back ones with Peaches, and I got this newer one, Rover album. I already had the middle one about a year ago now. So anyway, that was my Mother's Day. And now I am working on things. The Kickstarter is the talk of my channel for the last couple months. Directly. I mean, I mentioned it like 6 to 8 months before that I was going to do a Kickstarter, and I did do the Kickstarter. Today is the end of the Kickstarter. So yeah, I will show you the Kickstarter here just so you can get an eye on it. This is live. It has 103 minutes left. I made it well past my goal that I had. Do I have that full screen? Yeah. So I'm sitting at 1,200 right now, and of course with Kickstarter that could change at the drop of a hat because pledges are not 100% being the case. If you're catching this on replay, then of course it would have already ended. Like again, I said I didn't really expect that many people to be here on Mother's Day. A lot of people were doing things with their moms, which is expected, but the Kickstarter goes on nonetheless. But I was very happy to see that it made it to where it did. We did actually, I say we as in Kickstarter, the Kickstarter and the backers, we did actually make it to the first stretch goal and made it past the first stretch goal, which was at 800. And so now we're sitting at 1,200. It probably will finish out at that. unless I lose some pledges. I'm not sure if I'll get any more pledges within the next hour or so, but that could happen. With Kickstarter, it's kind of like a, if you do, if you don't type situation, if you aren't bringing a large audience to Kickstarter. But I'm pretty happy still with how it turned out. I put a lot of work into my Kickstarter. If you can see it, if you've missed it when I showed it before, everything I did on here was designed by me. I went through a lot of you know work to get it to look like it does. The creating all the graphics and the word art, because this right here is word art. It isn't like it's a picture. It's not typed on the Kickstarter. So yeah, so you had to do different things. I made all the banners and everything like that, and then you have to put it together. So typing everything up and doing all that. So it just breaks down. The Kickstarter breaks down everything so people know exactly what they're getting into. And yeah, so I even made sure I promoted my team that was involved in helping the book come to fruition and where it is. My character artist, my cover artist, my formatting company, my editor. I have to add my other editor because my other editor does my short story things. That the stories are in the back of the physical book, and then the breakdown where the funds go. If it was, if we made it, and we did, then the rewards tiers, which I think the graphics on those turned out pretty cool too. A lot of work, believe, especially to go back and edit them, and then the shipping. But yeah, so and that's the Kickstarter. So I'm just waiting for it to clock out. I'm going to during this stream do some writing sprints because I am currently finishing up this one here, the Winter Wolf Narvella, which is in the printed version of Caliostro, which is this one here. And it is Duncan. Any of my beta readers and or alpha readers who perchance did read the book as, beta readers, then they know who Duncan is. And Duncan is a prominent side character in Caliostro's story. He will be throughout this whole series. So it's kind of cool to learn a bit of his backstory. And that's what the novella is, a companion novel to the book. So I'm actually it is going to be published separately, but right now the only way to get it is to get Caliostro. And this is kind of a time release exclusive to Kickstarter, meaning the first people who have it through Kickstarter by backing it will be the first ones to be able to read it. I don't know the exact date that I'm going to release the book to the public from besides the people who have it through the Kickstarter. I would like to say it's going to be about the end of the year for the people who are not backing the Kickstarter, and that would be through whatever publishing company I use to publish it. But if you back the Kickstarter, then you'll see your copies September for the physical, and I think I want to say July for the ebook version. So you would have it well before anybody else if you're waiting for like Amazon or one of those places. But yeah, so a lot of stuff to do. And you get a lot of goodies. I did work on a lot of goodies. All that stuff was kind of ready to go, but it's a lot of the other things about the printing of the book and things like that. Some of the people did get the book boxes. Granted, we're still not finished yet, but I'm talking in future cases, which will be in another hour anyway. But there are some people who did get the book box, which I think is really cool. I'll show you the book box stuff. A lot of the book box people, I like book boxes myself, but some people don't like swag, but I love swag. I have a problem. But anyway, so the book box that I offered on here is the hardback copy of Caliostro, the character art for Caliostro and Allison, but the stretch goal we did reach the first one here. We'd unlock Duncan and Delilah's character art as well, and it's printed for people who got physical and digital for people who have digital tiers. So you get all 4 characters art cards, and then you'll get the 4 character bookmarks plus the book theme bookmark, and all these are physical bookmarks you get in the book box. So you get the Room Within, Fractals bookmarks, exclusive bookmarks. I haven't had these public before. And then a bookmark for Winter Wolf. You get a physical print version of Winter Wolf that will only be in the back of Caliostro. So even though it will be in the back of Caliostro's printed ones, you'll have a individual one if you have the book box that's already included, and then a copy of Thorns of My Heart and Fractals and Room Within. All of them are signed, all obviously autographed by me. And then this one is the only set that comes with the tote bag and the mug, and then 2 of the Caliostro emblem stickers, and then the album. This is also the only version that comes with the physical printed album. All the other version rewards up here that have the album's digital version, and this one has the physical, and then the map, of course. So you get the physical map, and I think only this one has the digital map. This is the digital package where you get like the ebook and all the digital bookmarks, and then the artwork digital, the album, and the map. Of course, you could always do add-ons and get the physical of any of those things. This tier did pretty good too, where you get all 4 of the stories. You get the main book, the Novella Companion, Fractals, and Room Within. And Fractals and Room Within are part of the Caliostro world. So it's kind of cool to get to know the entire world of Caliostro with just this one tier. Hence why it's called Deep Within the Veil. So yeah, I thought that was quite fitting. And yeah, that's where we are with the Kickstarter. I'm pretty happy with it. I think it turned out well, especially because it's my first Kickstarter. And I know a lot of Kickstarters fail. I heard that a lot of them do, which is sad. But, a lot of the times it depends on who you bring. And let me see who's in the chats. Hey, Dante, thanks for popping in. But yeah, so I'm going to, ride it out and see what happens. Maybe some more pledges will come on. Maybe they won't. If they do, they do. They don't, they don't. That's not that bad. So it's not a big deal if they do not. But again, we've well past the goal of 560 that I was shooting for. And I'm in the authors Kickstarter group on Facebook. They have a lot of intel on it, and they actually, after you do your Kickstarter, they say you do a breakdown in the group to help other people who haven't done Kickstarters, who are going to do Kickstarters. And honestly, it's so many like novel projects on Kickstarter. When I was in the midst of mine, 65,000 other novel projects. Like, that's a lot at the same time. And that's not including like rotating in. So that was just at that time when mine started. And I'm like, whoa. And everyone's hoping that they get that, Project We Love badge. It's not very simple to get it. It's just purely by chance, apparently. So, like, that's a little discerning. So with so many people, if that's the system, then who knows who would get it. It's like pure luck because someone who's on the team of Kickstarter decided they liked it, and then they give the badge, which makes it push to the top. Because I think within the first 24 hours you could be somewhat at the top, but then you lose that because you aren't considered new anymore. So yeah, it's a little difficult on that front. And I think sometimes when you have those companies back your Kickstarter and make it more prominent, I think you may get the projects we love from that too. Sometimes it looks that way. So it's hard to say. But anyway, plenty of people don't get it and still fund. I didn't get it and still funded. But bringing an audience with you is very important, I think. And they don't necessarily say that. Not everybody does, but it definitely helps because just depending on Kickstarter's audience, that's not going to 100 you on that because they don't know who you are. Unless you're someone known author, and that means you probably bought some people from a different platform or you're just from your books, So there's that. Yeah. Oh, and one thing I wanted to mention, because I did my makeup today because I had other videos to do. But I got the Twilight, and people know I love makeup, so we talk about this on my channel. Isn't surprising, but I got the new Twilight palette. It's a new Twilight set from ColourPop, and I have like this shimmer on. See, I was like going because it's supposed to be like imitating like at work because the skin glowed or whatever. And then these two liners. I didn't even put my regular black liner on. I used the liner from this, and then this is Team Edward, but it's like a blue gloss, really. And I was like, I had to put something else under it, like a different tint of a color, because it has a blue hue to it, but there's no like real color. It's like a gloss, which I thought was kind of blah. I was expecting a bit of a lipstick color, but that's fine. And I used the body shimmer, which made my hand sparkle or whatever, makes you sparkle, which I always liked shimmer body oils and sprays. I love those. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and do some sprints, and I actually had made some other timers for Caliostro, so Caliostro themed timers, which I will pull up because I figure while I'm waiting for the countdown for the Kickstarter that I will do some sprints. Why not? You know what I mean? Haha. Looks like Richard showed up. Hey, Richard. Yes, this is me, the Mistress of Horror. Yeah, they are horrific. Yes, they are. Especially when I'm doing them, right? Yeah. I get it. I get that joke. Thank you. But yeah, so while I'm doing the countdown for the Kickstarter ending, I'm going to do some sprints while I'm working on the companion novel for Caliostro. If you want to back the Kickstarter, the link is in the description. And there's still some time left. Not much time, granted. It will be over relatively soon. Let me pull up this these timers I made, few Caliostro timers. They're all 30-minute timers. But I think I'm going to use the werewolf one. The lycran one, I should say. So let me get that where it needs to be. And present. I have to switch off because the way that goes. And then we'll check the Kickstarter and come back from this. Let me large screen that actually. Full screen it. Yeah. Full screen it. So if you're working on anything, let me know in the comments if you're writing today. And yeah, let me know what you're working on in the chat. And I will check the chat when I come back and see what you said you're working on. So we got 30 minutes, and then we will chat when I come back, and then we will check the Kickstarter to see where it is. As long as it stays where it is. Like, we don't need any dropouts. That's the thing, too, you know? Anyway, I'll see you in 30 minutes. And that's it for the sprint. I did about 745 words that sprint. That's not too bad for a startup sprint. Because I do have like a goal of like 2,575 words today, and I don't do very specific word goals per day, but I do when I'm in the middle of writing a project that needs to be finished by a certain time. So that's the goal for today. So I'm gonna partially be there, not too much more to do. When I do the next sprint, I will see. Hopefully, maybe I could do over 1,000 words for that 30 minutes. That would be nice. So, and I tend to write clean as possible, so I won't have as much redo work to do. You know what I mean? When I first started writing serious, because I've been writing forever, but um, I didn't always write clean, and it does take a lot more work to go back and write clean. I don't edit while I'm writing, but I do pay attention to whether it's clean or not. So when I do my first self edits, I won't have like plot holes and issues with the story. That's mostly what I'm talking about writing clean, not necessarily grammar and punctuation. The very basics is there, obviously. I'm not overly trying to be a stickler while I'm writing because that's a no for me. I'm not going to be doing that, but I will definitely make sure that my story is solid, that I don't have plot holes, and I try to make sure I pay attention to, links or things that I didn't mention before, and I try to mess those things up. So that's not too bad for that run. Let's see what I can do for the next one. Let's go ahead and check the Kickstarter. I don't think anything changed during that time. Let me switch off to the Kickstarter page instead of the timers for writing. Okay, so we are at 57 minutes left on the Kickstarter, and nothing has changed in the negative. I haven't lost any pledges, so that's always good. That's always a positive. But yeah, that's good. I'm glad to see that. But it'd been really cool if we could have got to some of these other stretch goals. I just didn't have enough people backing it. As you saw I have 20 backers. And I think with the amount, and I'm going to do a full breakdown video of, me doing my Kickstarter. I had some video footage that I did of when it funded, when I was checking on it between, the 30 days. And I'm going to go through like the stuff that I did. I'm going to do a video series on how to build a Kickstarter, a successful Kickstarter, because I think a lot of it does have to do with, how well you put it together. That is definitely one of the important things, because I did observe some other Kickstarters during mine, some that failed. And I think a lot of the time it definitely was because they didn't put enough into it. Like it didn't have enough rewards tiers. It didn't have enough information with pictures and or video. And I think that does affect it to a degree. Even though you do need to bring some kind of, group with you. Hey, Joe. Congratulations on hitting your goal. Look forward to getting my copy. Yeah, I appreciate the back end. I saw that was your name on there. I was like, oh, look at Joe showed up. So yeah, I'm excited to send it to everyone. I mean, this story has been a long time coming. The world building has been a long time coming. It is very layered and elaborate at the end of the day, and I'm glad it's 3 books. So this is the first book, and I am very excited to share it with as many people as possible. If anyone has read my other stuff, Room Within and Fractals, they are both based in Caliostro's world, albeit the side type of people, no main and side people in those two. Well, I shouldn't say that, because in Room Within, Delata, who is in Caliostro's series, is like the first character you got to be introduced to, actually, if you read the Room Within first. So that was a little teaser type of situation. She's a very odd vampire, that one. But yeah, I'm excited to send you the copy, and thank you for backing the Kickstarter. It means a lot. It's hard to get people to believe in you. It's hard to get people behind you. Um, rather for whatever reason. Now, I talked about it before that I actually put this in front of a lot of people. Like seriously, like no lie, I put it in front of a lot of people. Like, I want to say the number, it had to be between across all my platforms. It had to be between 6 and 8,000 people that I put this Kickstarter in front of. So when I launched, it was like, I think it was something like 40, no, 14 followers for the Kickstarter page, which, people of different numbers get different outcomes. So that doesn't, having the followers on the page doesn't necessarily mean you're going to fund either, not by any stretch of the word. But I was like, wow, only 14 people follow the page. It was hard to just get people to follow the page. Now, when I do my videos on Kickstarter, I'm not the one to want to discourage people from starting a Kickstarter. And you can't always go by those numbers. I will recommend that you do your best due diligence to tell as many people as possible well in advance too. And don't be discouraged by the numbers, but you do want to have some kind of following. I think that would help for sure. My following is small considered far as like my books. I have following some other avenues of things that I do, which helps, of course. I'm knowing more people. But you can't go in depending on Kickstarter's audience alone. That's just definitely the way it is. So that being said, I'm happy where it got to for sure. 100% excited and grateful that it reached the beyond its goal. And my camera has been acting silly. I swear I didn't stop the camera. Believe me. Give me 1 second here because I think Microsoft for that one. Like seriously, when they did an update like a year ago, my ports on my computer, and I have like 7 different USB ports. It wrecked all of them. And only like one is any good, which I keep my microphone in, and then my camera one is still kind of iffy. It go in and out when it wants to. So yeah, that's fun. Thanks, Microsoft, for that update. Messed a lot of people's USB ports up. But yeah. So I mean, when I do that video, that total breakdown, hopefully it'll help some people. I really do hope that it does. And because even though I'm in the author's Kickstarter group, and I did get a lot of information before I did my Kickstarter, I still wasn't ready. As far as when I started building it behind the scene, it was a lot of work. It's very stressful, and it's a lot to do for even one person. While there's companies and people that build people's Kickstarters for them. But I'm a very go-getter type, and I believe in doing a lot of things myself when I feel that I can or need to. But I'm going to give as much information as I can to help others, and most basic stuff that you may miss that some people didn't mention because they thought it was so basic that everyone should know it already, but that's not true. Like something as basic as on the Kickstarter, they give you just the one page and they have like this little menu that has like 6 things, and that's how you build your Kickstarter. It just has like the little plus sign, and then you press that, it has like, you can do a picture, you can do a link to like something else, and you could type in words. And there's another one in the words for typing has like paragraph, heading 2, heading 3, or something like that. And then if you type it in, because I wanted to do separate headers where hyperlinks, and I was like, I know how to do like HTML, and then they didn't have any of that. It wasn't any of that type of stuff. So I was like, what? Okay. So I was like, okay, no coding. I couldn't do any kind of basic coding on there. So, you can hyperlink stuff. But so I was like, how do I do that? And no one mentioned it, that when you typed in whatever title, let's say for that very specific section, when you typed it, you couldn't just click to the next line. You have to press enter and then it turns those words into a header that would show up on the side menu. To the point that some people who did Kickstarter thought that that option came up after they did it, but it really was there already. But you just had to press enter instead of, some people take the mouse and they click the next line, or they use the down arrows and move to the next line. If you do any of those things, it then will not make that part into a header. Okay. So, but you cannot make like the picture, the banners that you use to separate the sections, can't make those banners into headers, which I think they need to do something about that. So you won't be doubling up wording, but I just worked around it and it worked with it anyway. So yeah, it's interesting. Something basic like that people did not mention. So when I do my video, I'm definitely going to mention that, because I was like, how do I do the menu for the headings? So yeah. Basic things like that can be missed really easily because you're so bombarded with the other harder to do things that you don't realize the smaller little things. Kind of like when your vocabulary is much larger, you may fall on your heavier, larger words in your vocabulary while forgetting or not using the smallest little word that could also get you to say what you need to say. So it's kind of like that. Hey, Aphrodite. Oh, okay. So after all that jargon, I'm going to go ahead and do the next sprint, another 30 minute, and I have another Caliostro. See here, I have another one of the timers. Let me see which one I have now. The over the lake. We'll have probably time to do one more after this one if I do a short talk chat when I come back and check the Kickstarter. But yeah, so let me see. Did I think I have to mark it as share before I press enlarge that thing? Hold on a minute. Because we're at about 47 minutes on that side. So when we come back, it might be near the end of it, which is fine. But I could always still do one even if it's finished out, because I do need to get a certain word count in tonight before dinner. Oh, and there goes my camera. I can still again. Not that it matters, because I'm about to add the timer anyway. So no biggie. Hold on 1 second for me. Here we go. Oh, that's not that one. Timer. We're going to the moors. This is the lake, Moors of the Vale. That is the timer we're going to be using for this sprint. And if you're working on anything, again, let me know in the chat. Or if you're chilling, hanging out, doing whatever, that's cool too. Let me make this large screen. And see you in 30 minutes. And we're back for that sprint. And let's see how much time is left on here. And my camera keeps doing that. It's really starting to get on my nerves. Really getting on my nerves. I swear the USB port is really, Microsoft can really suck it. But yeah, anyway. Let me know how you did on that sprint, whatever you're working on. If you're working on anything, that is. Also, my camera's like, I need to refocus. I'm like, yeah, I know you did. Yeah, my face is back here. Thank you. Still a little blur. It's still a little blur. Come on. Yeah, you see how it sparkles? Because I'm from Twilight, you know? Yeah. Anyway. Okay, that's better. So, I did about... I looked at the number now, I forgot it. Did about 1,040 words that sprint, which is pretty good for 30 minutes, so my usual. Were you? Advertising shoes on Kickstarter being nosy. Yeah, no changes. Which is good. I'd rather stay where it is. They go reverse because it's quite normal, like I said, for Kickstarters to have drop-off pledges. And of course, after it ends, you still have to be like, some of these could bounce wrong, so that's still a possibility. But then those are the ones you don't fulfill because, they weren't able to really back it. Stuff happens. It is what it is. But like the people who are here or have backed it, then the way the system works after this is after 2 weeks, I send you your surveys. I do not send surveys out, and it is not recommended for me to send surveys out until after Kickstarter has processed the payment, because it takes about 2 weeks or so for them to process the payments of the pledges. So that's like for people who cards may act wrong, or they may giving them a chance to be willing to, like if their card was the wrong card or something was wrong with it and they still do want to back it or whatever the case may be. So that's why you don't send the surveys right away. The surveys is all the questions that you have to ask after the Kickstarter. And one of the main ones is shipping. Kickstarter does not give people who do Kickstarters any of your information as far as your mailing address or your email or anything like that. So the surveys will give us that information because we were asking you directly for it. Also, shipping is not included in the tiers for my Kickstarter. Now, I have a few local people who live local to me that I can drop their packages to them, and I won't have to worry about shipping for those people. Now, I do have people across the country who have backed it, and I have someone who is in England who backed it, which it is allowed in my Kickstarter to ship there. But the shipping is not in the pledge because there's no way I could know how much that would be. So in the survey, I will ask, your addresses for this reason. So then we could go on to do the shipping price for your shipping because it was not in the pledge. Everyone's will be different. It will be not high for some people. Some people may be a little bit higher. It's whatever the shipping is to wherever you're located. Some people could be a few dollars, depending on if they just got just the regular book. If you got a digital tier, then there will be no shipping needed. But again, the survey still won't come out for 2 weeks because of the funds have to be finished going through. I will be doing a update after the Kickstarter today, so all the backers get the notice of that when I will be sending out the survey to get their, ask them questions and to get their information for shipping. And at that point, that's when you can pay for your shipping once I have your information. So you can't really pay for it before that because I don't know how much it is until I have your address clearly. But that being said, that's just the next step in process. Once I have all the funds, that includes the pledges from Kickstarter and then the shipping fees for your location, that's when I can then know how much everything will be to, get to you. Then comes the process of making sure that the fulfillment stuff begins. The digital tiers get their stuff sooner. Let's say if you were a person that backed the $5 tier, which is the room within fractals and digital bookmarks, those will go out in June because those are accessible immediately almost. But I always give time because we have to wait for all the money to come in. Then we have things like the ebooks of Caliostro itself, which isn't until July because there needs to be time for the formatter to finish formatting the ebook version and for me to put it into the service that gets you your digital copy of the book. Then the last fulfillments will be the physical tiers, which is the end of that fulfillment line is September. If it could possibly be before that, but I'm going to try to definitely keep it where it is not after that. I'm definitely trying to do my best to do that. Only way that would be an issue is if something happens with printing. And, I can't completely control that, but I'm going to do my due diligence on my end to make sure that I at least meet my deadline, which is set by the end of September. So anyway, that's pretty much how it's going to play out. Most of the merchandise that comes in the packages that some people did have, actually, I have a lot of that ready to go. So I don't have a lot of stuff to still get made because I didn't want to have that on me. The book is enough. But some things still have to go to the editor and then the formatter and then the printing place. So that whole spiel. Aphrodite said, what? I still like reading it the way you set it up. It's fine. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, that Kickstarter was a lot. Look at you talking about Duncan t-shirt. I mean, it could have been a thing. That probably will be some merchandise in my actual store on my Etsy, like other merchandise that wasn't available for me to make, maybe later. So we got about 8 minutes left on the Kickstarter, roughly. So not too much longer, actually. Pardon me. So yeah, let me close out this. And I will share the Kickstarter so we can just do a countdown. I'll talk about the book while we're doing that. Kickstarter, yep, share. So, yeah, 8 minutes left before it will be done. And then I can take a small breather. Because, yeah, it's a bit exhausting, to say the least. It was. Yeah, your end would say 66 minutes because it as refreshing. Like if I go on my dashboard, then the dashboard still shows like 65 minutes to go. But like the outer layer of the Kickstarter is still like showing the actual to the minute. Because I think when I originally released this, I'm sure that it was like 6:30, I want to say. So I don't know why it's showing this up here like 7 minutes. That's what it says on the top line. You see what I'm showing you right now? Now on the screen it says 7 minutes. And I'm like, well, technically it shouldn't be. It should be at least 1 hour left. But I guess that's some kind of weird, like, I don't think it matters so much, but it's like a little hiccup thing because I know what time I released it. I think when I released it, it was like 6:30 because I pressed the button. It may have been like it pushed like 32 maybe or something like that. But yeah, it definitely it definitely shouldn't say this, but that's what it's giving me because you see how it's glitching out right there. It's like 65 and then it goes like it should definitely be hours. I did it in 30, but either way, it's whatever. I'm going to still do one more sprint nonetheless. So I can at least have done 3 sprints tonight. And it was around 6:30 when I did it. So I don't really expect it to change much anyway. But I wanted to do some type of like countdown with everybody. If anybody saw this live stream, because again, it's Mother's Day, so a lot of people aren't around like, usually they are in the evening. So but yeah, that's where it's sitting right now. No changes. They even say though, they're like, oh well, on Kickstarter you get the most of your people on one thing. I don't know why it does this. It's so annoying with my camera. It says on, oh come on. My freaking camera keeps acting up and it's doing it more and more. It's really starting to get on my nerves a little bit. Like, okay, I got to unplug it and replug it up. It's such a pain in my butt. Oh yeah, I can scroll again. That's what I said. Yeah, I showed it at the beginning a few times. I showed everything at the beginning, but where's that page at? I'm gonna do that sprint soon so I can get some more writing done. Anyway, I don't think if people have to close that part. The Kickstarter once again, it will be gone soon because you can always go back and look at it though. So that's not like you can't go back and look at it. Here is the why would you love Caliostro? If you like gothic undertones, vampire hunters, drama / plot twists, mixed species, medium burn, and cosmic horror undertones, the world Caliostro is for you. And here's some of the things that's in the book. He's even a billionaire CEO. Yeah, mortals don't know. They just know he's like hot and really rich and wears suits because suits are the best. And then about the book, that's pretty much like the enhanced blurb because I have a slightly different blurb on the back, but this is the enhanced blurb. I may replace it on the back, but I'm not sure. And this is the audience that probably would read Caliostro, which is an adult fiction novel within the dark fantasy genre, and is intended for readers 18 and above. In its first installment, the book hints at multi-layered elements woven into the narrative. Among these elements are cosmic horror, romance, and gothic themes. Keeping that in mind. And about me, you know who I am. If not, you go to my website. You can find out all you want. And my team, I do again need to add my other editor, which I probably will do in a minute because this is closing on. I do want it to be on there. But my second editor for the stuff within this book that will be in the back of the book, that will be Aaron Bear. So I'm going to add him. He's the editor that will be getting the Narvella that will be in the back of the book. He edited La Draga that will be in the back of the book, and Obsessed, he will be editing that one as well. So his name is worth mentioning up here. And Brian, he edited the Caliostro manuscript. And formatting will be done by Elysium Formatting. And the cover artist for this amazing cover is Dusan Molkovic. And he is an amazing illustrator. And then last but not least, my character artist who has done all the character art you've seen so far. And there is still Duncan to be released, which I will definitely let the backers see once I get it from the artist. He's still a little behind on that one, but that's the last one I need to get from him. So, yeah, it was a lot of grueling pain to make this Kickstarter, but it turned out well. It looks good, turned out well, all that jazz. Again, the rewards. Yep. And the rewards tiers. Yep. I have to make all those lovelies. All these lovelies. Stretch goals. We did again crack the first stretch goal. We were very close to getting those printed edges. I wanted those printed edges. Like I really did. Only $150 away from getting the printed edges, which I'm sure all of my physical tier people would have loved to have gotten. If only too bad no one else showed up to add another 150, like to get another tier. I guess it would have to at least be 1 to 2 people or somebody getting the book box. Somebody else getting the book box would have did it for sure. That would have been cool. I would have loved to have gotten sprayed edges done. But for next time. And here's the shipping where I explain the shipping about all digital rewards tiers are sent out worldwide. Not worldwide, but all the digital tiers are sent out worldwide. And will be sent out between 6 to 8 weeks after the campaign. So that would average out quite well because it's kind of in between because the Caliostro ones are also digital, like the ebook. and that would, like I said, be out in July. Um, and then as the physical tiers, it's only United States, Canada, and United Kingdom. Maybe when I do come back and do another Kickstarter, which wouldn't be until an omnibus, um, which so that would be some years before I'm coming back and probably do another Kickstarter. Uh, all Caliostro would probably be done at that point, and I would probably do a special collector's edition with like foil this and sprayed edges that and omnibus size, like all three books in one book type of situation, because those do really well on Kickstarter. I'll probably do that for like the fans of the book and release that on Kickstarter. That's probably the only next Kickstarter I would do. I need to have a bigger following to probably pull in more people. It's a little hard otherwise, as you can see. So yeah, that's the Kickstarter, and then the reward side is here, and it shows that, you know. So yeah, yep. That is the Kickstarter. So yeah, I think it did. It still did pretty good. Look, see, look, you see the little, they're doing the little sparkles like it's done. See, 0 seconds to go. See, they count it like an hour before they close it out. See, yeah, I think they did. They close it out. So I refresh it. See, so I think that far as like people seeing it and me seeing, unless I go behind the stage. See, it still says 57 minutes and it glitches out like 0 seconds. And they did the whole like yay thing. Let me go to my dashboard real quick. See, behind the scenes says 57 minutes ago, but to the public, it probably still says that. But on my side, it showed like, oh, like you finished, like it's still an hour left. But either way, so yeah, yeah, right, yeah. Actually with the Kickstarter, they added where people can still like after it if they want to get something, they still can or something. Kind of like because some people will go to GoFundMe after their Kickstarter's over to try for people who like show up like at midnight, like oh I missed it, like you had all this time and you magically and you just remembered it. Okay, so they added where people can come later and do it or whatever. So anyway, but yeah, that's that. I'm gonna do one more sprint before I bow out of here and eat dinner. So let's do that if you're working on anything. Um Let me close this out and come back to the screen. La la la. Anyway. Yeah. Yeah, omnibus. Yeah, that's what I'll do. About a couple years probably. Thank you. But yeah, anyway. It's really quiet tonight because it's Mother's Day. I assume as well. Because I don't think a lot of people are on doing live streams right now. I think it's a few people doing live streams right now. I think. I'm not sure. Yeah, anyway, let me go ahead and just jump on that last sprint. It's going to be 30 minutes. Oh, the birds, they're flipping out because they hear my voice. Yeah, it's been a minute. But yeah, so let me get a timer up here, the other Caliostro timer. I have one more that I didn't use yet. Where is it? Somewhere up here. Yeah, the ones with Caliostro wings. I like that one. It's like my favorite. Okay. Oh, I don't need to make it full screen. Yeah. Let's do share screen first. Present shared screen. Not that one. Yeah, that one. Share. I like this one. All right, see you in 30 minutes, and then we'll close out. And yay, Kickstarter successful. right, so alrighty. I'm saying good night to everybody. Good night, Aphrodite. She's gonna lay down. Thank you. I appreciate it. So that is going to be in the stream. So I did the thing. The Kickstarter was a success. It closed out nicely. I funded at 214%. So over a little double of what my initial goal was. I'm very happy with the turnout. Now it's time to get to the outer layered work. But that actually doesn't happen for a little bit. So it's not like, I can take a breather this weekend and the next couple of days and gather myself, because I have to wait before I send surveys out, but I will send out a message to everyone later tonight, probably about an hour, to let them know that the Kickstarter was a success and that they should look for the survey from me around the 1st, which that gives about 2 weeks, around the 1st of June, that I will be sending the survey out to get the addresses and the shipping information, so that way I can give them their final cost for shipping. But yeah, so I'm excited about that. And then I can start, the editor will have all the stories that go in the back of the book. My formatter, I will be sending her over the total manuscript once I get back stuff from the editor, which I expect to have the full manuscript back from the editor. Well, have the short story and the novella back from the editor by mid-June, I want to say. He's relatively fast, so I'm thinking like mid-June, because I'm sending him the novella and the short story next, is it the week of the 24th, sending him that by the 22nd, 24th. And so he should have back to me by like the second week of June. And then I can get the full manuscript over to the formatter. And then the people who will be getting their ebook stuff will start getting that in June. That's like Room Within and stuff like that. But Caliostro, the ebook, should be going out closer to the end of July. So it's still in the month that it is set. And hopefully everything goes on schedule. But of course, I will be being transparent and be letting everyone know what is going on as it's happening. All the backers will be aware of it for sure. So as it's going on, keeping everyone in the loop. I'm definitely about that. So thanks again for anyone who joined me tonight for the closing of my Kickstarter and for sprinting with me. I really appreciate it, hanging out, and I appreciate anyone who backed the Kickstarter and believing in my journey as a author. So I will see you all. I will see you all in the next stream. This is going to count as my Sunday video. And I plan to do a video on, probably some video on Wednesday of my Kickstarter wrap up, showing like when I was going through some of it, and then my last final thoughts on it. So look for that video around Wednesday or Thursday this week coming in, and I'll see you next time. Stay scared.